We are on the Project Tahoe 300,000 mile restore. Today, we're changing the radiator. What is up? We are under the tent. It's 80 degrees, supposed to get to 90, probably low 90s. I think it's about 8 o'clock now. No, it's 9 o'clock, and it's supposed to be at 90 by 11, if I'm not mistaken. So we set the tent up so that we can keep the temperatures down. We are on the Project Tahoe 300,000 mile restore. Today, we're changing the radiator. It's not gonna be a very difficult job at all. It's just aggravating. So you do not start here. I'm starting here, but you start over there, lower coolant hose. You take that off, it's gonna drain. So have somewhere to drain your coolant. Above that would be a transcooler line. Above that would be a, I think, recovery line. Above that, another transcooler line. And then over here, you have your upper radiator hose. You have these bolts that mount your radiator, and you have these bolts that mount your fans on. You have a plug in both fans that you have to unplug. Another bolt over there that mounts your fan on, probably some at the bottom. Or no, I don't think they have any at the bottom because I think they hang on hooks at the bottom. But there's one of your trans lines, and is that the other one? No, that's a recovery. Then down there, right there, is another transcooler line, and then at the bottom, the lower radiator hose. That's where the majority of your coolant is going to come out right there. So I think I found something else that I have not seen anybody talk about, and it's this right here. This is a bracket that is holding, what line is that holding up? Transmission line? Yeah, transmission line. So these hard lines that are coming up right there, they come up and right there, and this bracket is mounted onto the E-fans. Looks like it's mounted onto the E-fans. So that probably, I don't know, actually, that line will probably just pop out of that bracket. Actually, yeah, that's what happens. That line pops out of that bracket, and that bracket will come off with the E-fans. But you pull the rubber back, and then there's like an Omega clip right in there. Gonna pop that out, save that clip, and then that should it's like a quick connect, and that'll come out. It's kind of tight with this air box. I don't know if we're gonna move this yet or not. Probably are gonna disconnect the air box though, because it's looking like it's too tight to be able to do it without doing that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna move the air box, but the air box is pretty simple. After you disconnect this hose, I think it's only pushed down. I don't think in the Tahoes, I don't think they're bolted down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not bolted down. It's like a push right there, that tab right there. You just kind of push it down into that. It's like a grommeted kind of thing. And so we'll just pop that out. But we just got to undo the charge pipe hose. It's gonna be on this side. There we go. And what we're left with is a radiator. Oh wow. I left the fans on, and I took the radiator hoses off first. Everything except for the lower transmission line. Had I done that backwards, took the fans off first, there's way more access. That was just me not thinking things through, and I usually do. I just opened up my workspace I doubled my workspace. So now the pesky Omega clip that I was trying to get is super easy to get to. And the lower radiator hose that I kind of fought with is also much easier to access. Again, I worked on this clip for a couple minutes, could not get it out. And the radiator hose, again, was way tougher than it was supposed to be. So take your fans out first. It's 2 bolts. It's only 2 bolts. These top two bolts right here, and then it hangs, the lower part hangs on like perches that are on the radiator itself. Now all I have left to do is I took the clip out of the lower trans line. So now I just have to pull the hose out and do both of these, which are 13 millimeter. Also, I'm slow wrenching, and I'm over halfway done. I guess halfway done would be the new radiator in, but I think if the new radiator is in, I think it's nearly complete. The only thing we have left to do now is swap the radiator, put the fans back, put the hoses back, and then feel and bleed the system. And the radiator's unbolted. Just gotta yank on this transmission line, get it out. Oh gosh, and that's out. Might have cut my hand, but just like that. Radiator's out. So the new radiator comes with new fittings for the trans lines, so we don't have to reuse the old ones. But they're not pre-installed, so just remember to pre-install those. One thing that I am not sure of is when installing those new fittings. When installing these new fittings, come on, focus, what is going on? When installing those new fittings, is there something that I should have? Like, it doesn't come with any like washers or anything. I guess I should look at the old one. I know it's gonna get further down than that. I don't understand. So the old ones, that sits really flush, but it's a whole different setup. I mean, of course, that's factory. I don't know. Guess I'm just gonna put a socket on it, tighten it down. We'll see. So I just tightened these down, and I don't know if that's right. There's a gap. I don't know if that's right, but I just tightened them down. I'm gonna do some research on it, I guess. So one thing you do need to transfer over is that rubber grommet. You just pinch it. It'll fit through that hole. But here's the old one right there. We just need to pinch that, and it'll pull it through the hole and put it on your new radiator, because well, we need it. That's what keeps it from vibrating back and forth, and get it fully seated. So yeah, make sure you don't just ditch your new radiator too fast, or your old radiator too fast. You need those. Other than that, I don't see anything else to transfer. I don't know how much time's went by. I've been messing around, but the new one's in. Again, the only question I have right now is if those transmission cooler lines need some kind of washer or something in between. It seems like a crush washer would be necessary there, but I just tightened it down, and I'm putting bolts back in. All right, well, I think what fans are on. Reservoir is full, so 2 gallons full concentrate, and then 2 gallons of water. It's maintaining, but if there's any air, I just saw an air bubble. Sometimes we gotta flex this hose and try to work any air bubbles out. I'm actually supposed to leave that cap off, but I'm not seeing any more air bubbles, and this is getting kind of tight. So I'm gonna run it for a little bit and see, but let's see. Pull this cap. This is getting hot, which is supposed to. We're gonna flex the hose a little bit. The hose is getting a bit stiff because the water's flowing. This is water getting kicked out of the water pump, out of the engine, comes out of the water pump to the top of the radiator, and then flows through to start the cooling process. So the water here is cooled as it goes into the radiator. It's cooled by the fans that are pulling air into the fins of the radiator, these fins, and it's flowing through something like that all the way down to the lower hose over there where it goes back into the engine and gets to temp. It's 11 o'clock. I haven't tried to rush at all. This job could be done within an hour. You don't need any real mechanical background. You don't need, I mean, to rate this job 1 to 10, probably like a 2, maybe a 1, because you don't need any skill to be able to change a radiator. You just need to, you don't need any skill really. I don't see, maybe a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2 because it's got some pesky clips that you need to have, but that you need to get out. A lot of people replace the pry clips with like worm clips, the hose clamps. A lot of people replace the hose clamps and get just like the ones you tighten down with the screwdriver. I didn't. I don't, they do lose their tension after a while, but if I notice it start leaking from those points, then I'll address it then, but no real need to now. So here is the crack. That crack right there is why I am replacing this radiator. It was leaking just a little bit, and if somebody wanted to JB weld that, I'm sure it would work just fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna patch something if I can just fix it. So yeah, we got a new radiator. I don't know. That probably can be fixed. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But if you were really in a jam and you were losing a lot of coolant, like this was not losing a lot of coolant at all. I wasn't refilling coolant every day. Maybe once or twice a month I was adding. I don't even know. In the wintertime it was much more because I don't know. I don't really know why, but something to do with the heat. Every maybe week or so I noticed the heat would not be as warm because it's sucking, that water is getting used on the heater core too. I'm not sure why, but I was replacing more coolant in the winter time than I was here currently in the summer. I just recorded probably 20 minutes of video, not even, well, probably 20 minutes total of video. Thought my charger was plugged into my phone. The aux cord was plugged into my phone. I walked you guys through my XTOOL car scanner. I did some live data diagnostics with my XTOOL car scanner, and I told about like the fixes that I just did. I talked about them. I mean, you already knew that. You saw the video or you saw the portion of the radiator install and the oxygen sensor, but I went in with just kind of walking you through the XTOOL. I'm not dubbing audio because I just did a series of different diagnostics. Again, this Project Tahoe 300,000 mile refresh is, I'm using ChatGPT to kind of walk me through some of the problems that I'm experiencing. And I just did like 3 or 4 different live data readings with the scan tool. I'll at least show you the scan tool right now. But what we found was the truck is running rich, and it was tuned that way. I'm pretty sure it was tuned that way because I had an issue either with my mass airflow sensor or my oxygen sensor at the time of tuning. So the tuner made it work. And to make it work, he gave me a little bit of a rich fuel tune. But here's the main screen of the XTOOL D7 car scan tool. Hold on, just okay. So this is the main menu, and we've got like reports, and I just did several. Yeah, I did several different reports right there, showing. This is IAT sensor, map sensor, intake manifold pressures. I mean, fuel trims. This is spark. That's some of the live data that we were going over, or I was going over, and sending it to ChatGPT. Oh, that was the same one. This one's a different log. This one, short-term fuel trim, long-term. Again, the maths, and I make a video, record the data, and then upload it and get an answer. I do that because I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. And that's kind of doing the ChatGPT is providing the research for me to see if the levels are correct, and if they are incorrect, why is that? And so because I don't have I don't have the knowledge, that's what's serving as my knowledge. Now I will be getting back up with my tuner, and I'll hopefully bring him something that he can work with a lot easier, because I have solved some of the answers that he shouldn't waste his time trying to figure out. If I needed new oxygen sensors, if I needed to update my math or just clean my math. But yeah, I'm just doing some of the groundwork before taking it back to a tuner, somebody who has knowledge on these things. But this tool has been really helpful. Again, like, you can go in certain systems, and like, for instance, I can do commands with air condition, door locks, opening the lift gate. Like, I can do different things and get a result, or not get a result and find out that there is an issue in the system with this tool. About $350. No, it was a little bit more than $350. Sub $400 is just under $400 for this particular scan tool. I think it's the newest version. May not be the new. There may be like a D8 or something out, but this is the XTOOL D7. So far, really good. The next time I do diagnostics or some look into the system, a system, whether it's this or the caddy or whatever, I'll try to get another video. I can't believe that I did that, but I think I'm just gonna close the video here. Again, this has been the Project Tahoe 300,000 mile refresh. We're gonna get this thing back running like day one. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. As always, check out the United Ones. This shirt isn't up there, but check out theunitedones.com for some merch. Help keep us going. Thanks, guys. Peace.